You've been given all your colors, unique, different from the others. You'll find a grand design is written on the canvas of your life. And I can see something beautiful, something beautiful, something beautiful. There's something beautiful. Brushstrokes of character surround you, filled with passion deep inside you. You'll find your life is like a kaleidoscope of possibilities, and I can see something beautiful, something beautiful. If you reach across the sky, feel it rise. Something beautiful, something beautiful, something beautiful. There's something beautiful.
Hey.
Sherry Martin.
I hear you're still a virgin.
What if I am?
Then that makes you a loser.
Well, have you done it?
Duh. I'm almost 14. We all have done it. Lots of times.
Look, I can help you get out of the losers club. I have a friend who's in the same condition. He only wants a virgin, though. Otherwise, I would have taught him the facts of life myself. Just think about it, okay?
Girls. Girls. You should have already been on the tennis courts. Let's go.
Hey. I heard Judy and her little friends try to mold you into their image. Don't let them, please.
Excuse me, have we met?
Sorry. My name is Becky Hatcher. Have you lived here long?
Moved from Nebraska about a month ago.
Well, what do we have here? A Virgins Club meeting? I see the only 2 eligible members are present.
What's it to you? Writing a book?
Wow! Did you stay up awake all night thinking of that comeback? You really need your beauty sleep, Becky. Though 24 hours won't help your condition.
You know, beauty is only skin deep.
Becky, you're really bugging me.
Great! My life's not a total waste. You know, I'd love to stay here and be the raspberry seed in your tooth a bit longer, but duty calls. Bye, Sherry.
I hope you're not letting that loser give you advice. There he is. There goes the guy I was telling you about in the blue tee. His name is Duke Williams. What do you think?
What? I didn't get a good look at him. But I mean, he looks okay from behind. Am I his type?
What type are you?
Just an average, boring girl.
Not for long. Not with me around to strain you out.
Starving. Supper ready? You okay?
Oh, I spaced. I forgot all about supper. I'm so sorry, Dad.
Sorry's not gonna stop the growling in my stomach, is it?
I already said I was sorry. What more do you want from me?
I want you to be on top of things. I rely on you to be the woman of the house. I need a good meal. Is that too much to ask?
I just turned 14. I'm not really a woman yet. I can't play the role of wife and daughter.
Watch your tone, young lady.
Fine. I'll go to my room, and then you won't have to listen to me.
Mom, why did you have to die? Why was so good in Nebraska with you. Now it sucks. And I hate it.
Is that seat taken? What are you reading?
Silver Wind. It's a story about a messed up teenage girl.
Ah, a reality story.
Are you saying that all teenage girls are messed up?
They're not an endangered species.
What's up, Duke?
I'm busy, Stevie.
Duke. Is your name Duke?
Sorry, I should have introduced myself. I'm Duke Williams.
Why, if it isn't Queen Elizabeth.
Who, me?
Yeah. Queen Elizabeth was known as the Virgin Queen. I wonder if it's politically correct for a queen to mess around with a duke. So, have you thought about him anymore?
I actually thought about him a lot.
Hotness, I'll set it up. Bye.
No, Judy, no, Judy, wait.
Well, Queen Elizabeth, looks like we're gonna have to find you a new nickname. I got Duke's approval. Your virginity will soon be history.
Did you tell him my name?
I told him you're cute and a virgin. He didn't ask for a name. Okay, so here's his email. You're on your own now. Just don't think about it too long, because he might find someone else.
It can't hurt just to send him an email. I mean, there's no commitment in that. And I won't give him my real name. But I need a new email address. How about Queen Elizabeth? Elizabeth, I'm not looking for a relationship. There's a girl that I have my eye on. I just want to experience sex so the other guys will get off my back about being a virgin. You know what I mean. Judy and her friends are merciless in that regard. How about next Tuesday at 4 o'clock? Transportation might be a big issue. You probably can't ask your parents to drop you off at my house so we can have sex. Duke. Transportation is not a problem, and Tuesday is fine. Elizabeth. Well, no going back now.
What's up, girl? And don't keep any secrets from me.
We made a date. Are you happy now?
When?
Did you want to watch? Maybe charge admission?
That's not a bad idea. How much do you think we can make? Shut up. Ooh, retract your claws, kitty cat. I'm kidding. I wouldn't want to ruin your special moment. So, when is it anyways?
Soon.
Fine, keep your secret. So, did you get your insurance package?
My what?
Your protection? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
Not a clue.
A condom.
Yeah. No.
Not a problem. Just go to the school's nurse and ask for one.
Are you kidding? The school nurse passes out condoms to students?
Aw, Sherry, you are so naive. Lots of schools do it. We have to protect the students from the consequences of their biological urges.
I'd die of embarrassment.
I thought so. I'll get you one.
You know, I think that the school would try to convince students to control their biological urges instead.
Ain't gonna happen. People can't control their needs. Those misled chastity morons can't get it through their skulls. They think it's honorable to control their bodies.
Hey, Sherry.
Oh, hi, Becky.
Speaking of morons, are you gonna say hi to me, Becky?
Not without a gun pressed to my head.
Oh, I'm not feeling the love here. I'll talk to you later, Sherry. Eat a rock, Becky.
Sherry. Judy is trouble. Keep hanging out with her, and you're going to get burned.
You know, I don't know what caused this war between the two of you, but she makes my life interesting. Can't I just be friends with both of you?
I don't think Judy wants friends, just worshippers.
Hey, stranger. I missed you this morning.
Didn't feel so good. Ever do something that seemed right but turned out to be totally wrong? I think I'm on the verge of maybe doing that.
Done that. Want to talk about it?
I can't. Sorry, I have to deal with this by myself. It'll all be over this afternoon. Sherry, what are you doing here? I really want to talk with you, but I have someone coming over and she's going to be here any minute now.
Duke, stop. It's me.
What do you mean?
I'm Queen Elizabeth.
You're Elizabeth?
Is that okay with you? Is there something wrong with me?
Oh, no, you're fine. You just took me by surprise.
Do you want to change your mind?
No, I'm cool. Come in. So, why didn't you tell me earlier it was you? I mean, unless you wore one killer disguise, I was gonna figure it out anyway.
It seemed better to surprise you. Why? Guess we should get started before your parents come home.
Yeah. So, how do we get started?
You're asking me? I've never done this before. Maybe we should start off with a hug?
You know, you fit right into my arms like you're made for them. Hey, did I say something wrong?
No, Duke, it's me. It feels really good to be in your arms. It makes me feel safe. I haven't felt like this since my mom died.
This is nice, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really hard to imagine that sex could be any better than this.
Sherry, we don't have to do this at all. This was a dumb idea. I never should have let those kids push me to try this. What do I care what they say?
I bet it's easier saying that here than in the locker room.
You'd win that bet. I want you to know I didn't want to have sex with you. I mean, I didn't want to do it with a girl I had feelings for. Gosh, this is harder than a solo.
A solo? You sing?
No, I play flute.
You're kidding.
I'm a flautist, #1 chair. Why do you find that so hard to believe? Do you not think I have the right stuff?
It's not that. I play the flute too.
But you're not even in the band.
I was scared to try out and then not make it. I figured musicians here are better than in Nebraska.
What do you have 5th period?
Study hall.
It's not too late. You can still join. And if you're good enough to make it to 2nd chair, you can sit next to me.
You mean after I make 1st chair, you can sit next to me?
Bring it on, girl. Let's see what you got. So, what now?
Well, I guess I have time to make dinner.
I'll walk you home.
In so long.
I don't want any of the guys to see me doing this.
You're worried about what other people think again.
I am, aren't I? Forget them. I'm my own man.
Man, I think we should stay kids a little longer. I don't want to rush into becoming an adult. They have to deal with a lot of junk, you know.
Yeah, believe me, I know. My parents got divorced and my mom got married again soon after.
Bummer.
Mom doesn't want me messing with religion, and Dad takes me every chance he gets. Makes for a interesting tug of war. Do you believe in God?
I was saved when I was 8, but my dad hasn't taken me to church since my mom died. Let's not talk about painful stuff. You dodged my question about feelings.
It's not that big of a deal.
You can't just drop a comment like that and leave me hanging.
Why not?
Because it's not nice. And you're a nice guy, remember?
Alright. I really like you. Hey, don't you have to go make dinner?
Yeah. Real life intrudes into the dream world again. So, Duke, what do you want to do about these feelings you said you had for me?
I don't know. What should I do with them?
I don't know. I've never had a boy tell me he had feelings for me before.
First time I ever told a girl that.
Sherry, what are you doing?
Dad, just walking home.
From where? Your bus stop isn't anywhere near here. Get in the car.
But Dad...
Don't argue, I'm in no mood.
Sorry, Duke. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Dad, why aren't you at work?
I left early so I can catch you hanging out with some dude. Who is that guy? How old is he? Where did you meet him?
You know, normally when people play 20 questions, they wait for answer in between each question.
Don't try to be funny and sidetrack me. I want answers.
It's not a big deal. His name is Duke, he's my age, and we met at school.
Where were you coming from?
The park. We were swinging.
You know the rule about getting my permission to leave the house. You're on the honor system with this latchkey arrangement. I can't be at work worrying about you every day, and you know my rule about guys.
How can I forget? You remind me enough.
Obviously not, since I just found you walking with some strange guy.
He's not strange. He was on the football team.
Oh, that makes me feel a lot better. Obvious proof of a low testosterone level.
And he plays the flute in band.
Flute and football. That's an interesting combination. Flute ball.
Oh, I think so. You know, why can't I just hang out with a nice boy like Duke?
Sherry, how do you know he's a nice boy? How long have you known him?
A week.
Wow. A whole week. You practically know all about him then.
I don't know why you're going so ballistic here.
Because I'm a male. I know how males think, or in many cases don't think. Ever heard of a one-track mind? That's what boys have. I was 14 once.
Yeah, about 100 years ago.
You're not earning any brownie points here.
So what are you doing home so early?
I have an emergency trip. Boss told me to go home and get ready. I'll leave first thing tomorrow. And now I have to find a babysitter.
Babysitter? Dad, I'm 14.
Exactly. Too young to stay alone.
I stay home alone all the time.
Did. That's before I found you running around with a boy.
Where are you going to find a babysitter?
I'm hoping Mrs. McAllister next door will accept the job.
Mrs. McAllister? She's an old lady.
Did you expect me to find a 20-year-old boy to take care of you? I'd appreciate it if you refrained from shaking the paint off my door.
Great. My dad's more concerned about car paint than his daughter's feelings.
All right, kiddo. You're all set. Mrs. McAllister is thrilled. She'll be waiting for you at the bus stop after school tomorrow. I'll be home Sunday morning.
Wonderful. Is she gonna hold my hand on the way back to the house?
Maybe, if you ask nice.
Dad, I'm not a kid anymore.
Yes, you are, kiddo.
Fine. That's true. Fix your own dinner. I'm too young to cook.
So, did you lose your royalty yesterday?
How did you know it was yesterday?
I have a way of finding out things I want to know.
We had a problem. My dad caught me with Duke.
He caught you guys in bed?
No.
Oh. So, when are you guys gonna try it again?
I don't know. I guess we're just gonna let nature take its course.
That's all it takes, Sherry. You just gotta let that animal side loose and you'll be wearing a new nickname.
Welcome to my home, Sherry.
It's nice. Mrs. McAllister, I have to run home and get some of my stuff.
That's okay, honey. I'll go with you.
Fine. But I'm not your honey, and I hope you know I'm not crazy about this arrangement.
I know, but we'll make the best of it. Very nice. I have a suggestion for you.
What?
You may try a lighter touch. You were a little flat, and you missed a note.
You play the flute? And you're familiar with Bach's Partita in A minor?
I know it's hard to believe, but this music is even older than I am. Here, let me show you, okay?
Wow. I'm impressed. Do you think you could teach me how to play like that?
I would love to.
Problem is, I don't know if my dad would shell out the money for lessons.
Who said anything about money? I would love to.
I want to try out for the school band, and I want to be first chair.
Why is it so important for you to make first chair?
Well, there's a boy in the school band who's first chair.
Oh, so you don't like this boy and you want to knock him off his perch? Aha, you like this boy. And you want to show him what you can do.
Sounds stupid, huh?
No, not at all. They had boys around when I was a girl. I joined the band to be near a boy named Bill who played the tuba.
What happened?
He fell for a clarinet player. However, I ended up marrying the drummer, Robbie McAllister.
And you two made beautiful music together?
We had 2 beautiful daughters.
Where is your family now?
Victoria is in Seattle, and Robbie and Kim were killed in a car accident several years ago.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have been so nosy.
That's okay. Are you hungry?
Actually, I am. And I'm really going to enjoy someone else's cooking.
Well, let's go get something to eat, and you can tell me all about this flute player. Sherry, it's time for bed. Time sure does fly when we're having fun.
Wow, it was flying. I didn't think it'd be so much fun to spend time with
An old lady?
I'm sorry.
You know, wasn't too long ago I was your age. And do you mind if I pray with you tonight? I haven't done that in such a long time, and I miss it.
I haven't done it much since my mom died. Go for it.
Thank you, Father, for Sherry, for her sweet spirit, and for her willingness to talk to you.
Wish you could come over tonight and meet Jean.
Sounds like fun, but this is my dad's weekend, and I'm going over to his house after school.
Oh, I forgot about that arrangement. Divorce sucks, just like cancer. It robs us of the people that we love.
Yeah. You know, there's something different about you today.
I woke up thinking about God. I think Jean's prayer had a real effect on me. Hey guys!
So, when are you gonna try it again?
Who said we were going to try anything?
Sherry did.
Are you looking for a story for the school newspaper, Judy? Let me go on record as to say that I'm planning on making it to my wedding day as a virgin.
Are you kidding? To be a loser is one thing, but to be one of my choice, that's moronic.
Judy, Sherry and I can become like you anytime we want. You can never get your virginity back. Sherry, why did you tell her we were going to try it again?
I'm sorry, Duke. I just didn't want her on my back again. So I kind of told a lie. Not exactly a lie, just a fib.
What difference does it make? You dump the words on the scale, and if they weigh a certain amount, they're a lie, and if not, they're a fib?
I told you I was sorry.
I know, but I thought you said we were going to stand up to Judy and her crowd and make them know that we're different than they are.
I want to, but I'm not strong enough to face a social superstar alone.
You're not alone. We're in this together.
Good morning. Are you hungry?
Starved. Sleeping's hard work, especially when you dream a lot.
Nightmares.
I had some weird ones. I think the scariest one was I was leaning over to kiss Duke,
Right as I got near his lips, his face turned into my math teacher.
Well, how about coming to church with me tonight? I have a flute solo, and I would love for you to do a duet with me.
Me? Do a duet? I don't even know the song.
It'll be easy, and I have all the confidence in you.
Okay. Well, I mean, it'll be a good warm-up before my audition next week. And I need to learn how to deal with butterflies again.
How about some pancakes?
That would be great.
Thank you for that beautiful song. Now let's greet one another in the name of the Lord.
Duke, what are you doing here?
This is my dad's weekend to have me, and this is his church. I almost didn't recognize you all fancied up. How did you end up here?
Jean's the babysitter I was telling you about.
Your babysitter is a master flautist?
Looks like I won the flute lottery. Hope you're keeping that first chair warm for me.
You're pretty good. Maybe good enough to make the second chair. Hard to tell, though, because that piece you played tonight was so elementary, my dear Martin.
Well, speaking of elementary, I'll be schooling you.
I remember you too.
Hey, I hope she didn't drive you crazy.
Actually, we had tons of fun.
Serious. How much do I owe you?
You don't owe me anything for allowing me to spend time with your sweet daughter.
My what? Ah, there's my sweet daughter now. You ready to go home, kiddo?
Yes, so. I guess you want me to go home and cook breakfast for you?
That would be awesome. I came straight here from the airport.
Okay, well, go on home, and I'll be over in a couple minutes.
I guess you're a big girl now and can walk home by yourself. I don't know what you gave that girl, but I hope you bottled it and get me a six-pack.
No secret, Mr. Martin, just love.
Call me Jeff, please. Just love, huh? And here I worried all weekend that she was going to make your life miserable.
She made my weekend, and she's welcome any time.
So what did you and Jean do together?
Well, we played the flute together, and we went to church last night. They have Saturday evening services.
That's cool. If a guy has a football game and wants to go fishing, Saturday night services offer a great advantage.
What's your point, Dad?
No point, Sherry. Except for the one on top of your head. You might want to attack that with a brush after breakfast.
Whatever. Who cares what my hair looks like?
Obviously you don't.
My dear father, your grasp of the obvious is overwhelming.
And your respect for your parent is underwhelming. So what kind of church does Jean attend?
A fun one.
A fun one. One of those. You play bingo all night?
We didn't play anything, including church.
So what makes this church more fun than the one we had in Nebraska?
I don't know how to describe it. It's just a feeling I had of being more alive. Like the people there really meant what they were saying and doing. They really love God.
Just a little word of warning. If you get weird on me, more than the usual teenage weirdness, I'm not going to let you go to that church again.
Okay, that's enough. So, Miss Martin, you'd like to jump on our bandwagon, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're in. But you need to know one important fact. We only use 5 flutes in a performance. We currently have 7 flute players, so you'll be coming in as the 8th chair. I think you can do the math.
So how do I move up?
It's called the chair challenge. You issue a challenge to the person in front of you. I'll give you both the same piece of music to play. If you play it better than they do, you get their chair, they get yours. Otherwise, you have to wait a month before you can challenge that person again.
Okay, I'd like to challenge chair 7.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I like confidence, Miss Martin, but I must warn you that arrogance rubs me the wrong way. You know, every member of this band is a human being that's worthy of respect. My expectations of you are to remain humble, no matter how high on the flute totem pole you rise. We're all here to help each other become better people and better musicians. Okay?
Yes, sir. I'm totally cool with that.
Good. Our challenges are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Rehearsals Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay? Are you taking personal lessons?
The next door neighbor is helping me.
Neighbor. Okay, well, guess it's better than nothing. Unfortunately, I'm not proficient in the flute myself. If you played the tuba or a host of other instruments, I could have given you personal instructions myself. All right, Miss Martin challenge. You're on the docket.
Hey, Dad. Maybe we could go to church with Gene on Saturday night?
No chance. I'm watching the Nebraska-Oklahoma football game. I want to check out this sports bar where Husker fans get together, so you go do your church thing, I'll go do my football thing.
Awesome. Go Big Red!
And why are you all dressed up?
Can a girl get dressed up without a bunch of grief?
Dress that way all the time if you want. It doesn't have anything to do with that boy I told you to stay away from, does it?
I'm not permitted to like a boy.
Sherry, there's nothing wrong with you getting interested in a boy. I just don't want you hanging out with him alone so things can happen that we don't want to happen.
You mean like sex?
No, I don't mean like sex. I mean sex. You don't know how much it can screw up your life until it happens. My goal was to make sure you don't find out the hard way.
Yeah, well, my life is already screwed up.
You mean you've already had sex?
No, Dad. You don't understand. Just forget about it.
Sherry, you're right. I don't understand, at least completely. I've never been a female. You gals are still a mystery to me. I do understand males, however. I know how many thoughts go through their minds. Or perhaps I should say how frequently one thought goes through.
Not all boys are like that.
Probably not. But they are in a distinct minority.
Well, the main reason I'm dressed up today is because it's my first day in band. It's a new beginning for me. I felt so out of place at school and so purposeless. Now I have something to look forward to.
That's great, honey. I've been worried about you. I feel guilty sometimes for pulling you away from the life and friends you had back home. I know it can't be easy for you.
It hasn't, but today I feel better about things. And I've set a goal for winning first chair. Something I can focus my energies on. Now I have something that feels like it's mine, and I like that feeling.
That's great, kiddo. Everybody needs purpose.
We have a great youth group at our church. Right now they are studying sexual purity, and in a few weeks they are going to take the chastity pledge.
What's that?
That's where they promise to not have sex before marriage.
Oh. I doubt my dad will let me go. How would I get there anyway?
Well, I can take you. How could your dad not want you to keep your virginity?
Well, he likes the chastity idea. He's just not too fond of me spending time at your church.
Well, let's make him an offer that he can't refuse. I cook for him, and you go to church with me on Wednesday night.
It's perfect. He's tired of my cooking, and I'm tired of his complaining. So how was your day?
Good.
Good. It was good. What did you do today?
Did a few lessons.
Oh my gosh, have I died and gone to heaven? What is that smell?
Gene's fixing chicken cordon bleu for supper.
There is a God in heaven.
Yes, there is.
How long until we eat?
About 7 minutes.
I hope you're staying to eat.
I am.
Good deal. Sherry loves having you around. And after tonight, I might be your biggest fan.
Very nice, ladies. You both did well. Miss Martin will assume the 7th chair. Feeling sorry for her, are you, Miss Martin? You know, it's very touching, but you need to do your very best and not worry about how it makes other people feel. In order for you to win, somebody had to lose. You got it?
Yeah, but you told me not to be arrogant.
True. But don't ever confuse arrogance with excellence. And also remember that pride and mediocrity can coexist. Okay? Would you like to challenge for the 6th chair next week?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. You're on the calendar.
Duke, what are you doing here?
I asked my dad for permission to come to youth group.
But I thought you didn't want to steal his time with you.
I had a little talk with my mom. I insisted that I live with my dad. Now, I'll still see her on Tuesdays and every other weekend. So, I can come here on Wednesdays.
Wow, and she went for that?
Hey, it looks like we're getting started. I'll tell you the details later.
That's good. Oh, well, welcome everyone. I see we have some new faces. We're glad you're here. All right, well, let's get started. Here's my first question. What is the most effective form of birth control?
Headaches.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not really the answer I was looking for, but it may come as a close second. Madison?
Abstinence?
You are correct. Contrary to some media reports, no one gets pregnant from abstaining. You see, when detractors say that abstinence doesn't really work, what they're saying is people have a hard time from abstaining. So that's why we're here tonight. I want to encourage you and strengthen you in the knowledge so you can resist those temptations when they come. And believe me, they will come. So, is that the only reason we're here? To talk about abstinence and how to avoid pregnancy? Jenny?
No way. I mean, we're supposed to look at this topic from God's viewpoint, and He says in the Bible that fornication is wrong.
What does fornication mean?
Sex.
Actually, there's a really big difference. Fornication is sex between two people who aren't married.
You are correct, Duke. And God did design sex to be a wonderful thing between a husband and a wife. So we're not against sex. What we are against is the sexual practice outside the bonds of marriage.
Is sex in a marriage ever wrong?
That's a really good question. Anyone want to try to answer that for her? Madison?
If it's kinky or perverted, like the guy wants to chain his wife to the bed or use a whip or inflict pain. God created sex to be a loving act between a husband and his wife. If it involves animal action, it's wrong, even if they are married.
Thank you, Madison. Yes, God did design marriage to be so wonderful and intimate between a husband and a wife. And you don't ever want to make your loved one feel uncomfortable or inferior. All right, so let's talk about this. What about pornography? Should we be concerned with it? Should people be free to look at it? Bobby?
People get addicted to it just like alcohol or drugs.
Yeah, unfortunately they do.
I think some guys look at pornography and go all crazy or something. After that, they might rape someone.
Yeah, that's very sad when that happens.
My mom got a divorce as a result of pornography. She told me that my dad looked at all the beautiful, slim porno models and then he was unhappy with her ordinary body. It's not fair to some wives who get a little heavy from having kids and stuff. It makes men forget the vows they made at their wedding to cherish their wives.
Fighting pornography is a hopeless cause in the movies, TV, videos, everywhere. A few protests ain't gonna stop people from getting their jollies, okay?
You're right. We may not be able to stop everything in society, so does that mean we just give up and we don't fight? You know, the Apostle Paul said we need to run the good race and fight the good fight. It makes our Heavenly Father very proud of us when we get in there and we fight for His principles.
But we're still going to lose.
Oh, Bobby, we may lose some of the battles, but ultimately we know who's going to win the war. There was an Englishman named Edmund Burke who once said, "All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." And so, do you want to stand before the King of Kings and Lord of Lords on Judgment Day and tell him why you didn't get in there and fight? I certainly don't.
I don't see what the big deal is. Sex is fun. Everybody wants to have fun, right? Why do you do-gooders always try to stop people from having a good time?
What's your name?
My friends call me Carpet. You can call me Mr. Fisher. My mom forced me to be here, and I ain't taking no chastity pledge.
Well, Mr. Fisher, it may seem that Christians don't want to have any fun and are not the life of the party. But what I see that makes this a big deal is Satan is doing everything he can to destroy marriages and families. You see, God designed marriage to have a husband and a wife, a mom and a dad. And Satan is working overtime to destroy that. And so if he can convince everyone that it's okay to do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel good, then our society as we know it is in big trouble.
That's ridiculous. You don't know what you're talking about.
When I was 17, I had a boyfriend who I loved, and he loved me. And after a while, he wanted me to give myself to him. And I didn't want to. But he said that he would break up with me. And so after a while, I gave in. And despite all his guarantees that everything would be okay, I got pregnant. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I certainly did not want to tell my parents. So he wanted me to have an abortion. I didn't want to, but I didn't see any other choice either. So he made all the arrangements. Something went very wrong at the clinic that day when I was aborting my baby. I almost died from the complications. And as a result, I can't have any more babies. And you know that boyfriend who promised that he would stick around and take care of me? Yeah, that didn't happen. My life was a complete mess. Until I found the healing touch of Jesus. He lovingly forgave me, and I am so thankful today for His grace and His mercy. Listen to me, guys, listen. If you don't hear anything else I say tonight, listen to what I'm going to tell you. There are consequences to your sin and to the choices that you make. It may not be immediate, but there are consequences to sin. Mine? I can't have any more babies unless God chooses to do a miracle for me. So please understand and think before you make a decision that is going to affect the rest of your life. There are consequences.
Miss Alberts, I'm not saying that I've had sex, but what if I had? I mean, what good does it do somebody to take the chastity pledge after they lose their virginity?
Would be nice if we could hit that delete button and erase everything, but it doesn't work that way. But you know what you do have? You have that healing touch of God, and He can forgive you and cleanse you, and you can start fresh. And I promise you, if you choose to stay pure until you are married, God is truly going to bless you.
So, I owe this wonderful meal to Sherry winning 6th place chair in band?
Yes, sir.
I'm liking this band thing more and more. So, Sherry, are you going to church with Gene on Saturday?
If it's okay with you.
Sure. I'm going to the sports bar to watch football again.
Maybe when football season is over, you can try coming to church with us.
Sorry. Then basketball season will be in full swing.
And after basketball?
Baseball. And after baseball, we're back to football. I'm booked solid.
You know, I can't help but wonder if God's going to book you, though you're going to slam her and melt the key.
Hey, I'm a believer. I asked Jesus into my heart many years ago.
Well, that's a good start. However, if you're living your life totally for yourself and pleasure, God may think you're only lukewarm.
God wants his people on his playing field, not in the stands. If I can put this into sports terms.
I just can't get excited listening to some guy preach. Oh, hey, honey. I want you to meet Gloria.
Hi. Enjoying the football game?
Oh, yeah. You know me.
What's the score?
Score, I believe one team is ahead of the other one. How was church?
Obviously not as much fun as the football game.
So you're going to bed now?
No. I think I'm going to sit here and watch football with you guys. So, Gloria, where did you and my dad meet?
We met at the sports bar tonight.
Sports bar? You guys just met tonight and you're already making out?
Sherry, that is none of your business.
Oh, it's not my business that you bring home a substitute to take Mom's place?
No one will ever take Mom's place, but I need a woman in my life.
What am I, chopped liver? And how about Jean?
Who's Jean?
Totally different.
Really? Who's Jean?
Gloria, don't worry about Jean. I'll tell you later. Sherry, you had to know that sooner or later I was going to be with women again.
Yeah, but I didn't think it would be a bar pickup.
That's enough. It's your bedtime. Sherry, it's not what it looks like. She fell asleep while we were watching TV. I just left her there and went to bed. Nothing happened.
It's good, Dad. Do you know what happens spiritually when a man and woman have sex?
What are you talking about?
You become joined to her. God intended man and woman to become one flesh, like Adam and Eve. When you unite physically, you get hooked up spiritually.
Where did you learn that?
Church.
They never preached that when I went to church.
I need a drink. Where's Jeff? Jeff? I need a drink.
There's orange juice in the fridge.
I don't think OJ is what she had in mind. Hold on a second. Hey, Gloria. I don't know if you noticed this, but I have a 14-year-old that I'm trying to raise with some sense of moral standard. Thank you. Come on. Oh.
So, I assume Gloria won't be staying for breakfast?
Good guess.
Darn. Ruined my day.
I think that sentence could be described as dripping with sarcasm.
Well, if any drips on the linoleum, I'll clean it up.
Now, before I go back to bed, I want you to understand you can learn all you want to at church, but don't bring your sermons home to me.
Are you ready for the 5th chair challenge tomorrow?
I almost forgot about it. Been focused on other things lately.
Like sex?
No, not sex. Abstinence, purity, chastity. Becky and Gloria, too.
Who's Gloria?
Hopefully she's a nobody. Just a one-night stand for my dad.
Your dad's into the dating scene?
Yeah, life is kind of like a roller coaster right now. Up one minute and down the next. Gloria's part of the down.
I picked up on that. My mom brought home some real scumbags before she got married. I hated it. My dad was pretty cool with that stuff. He waited until he was ready and just dated one girl from, church.
You worried about having a stepmother?
Not anymore. My dad's marrying a real sweetheart. We have a great relationship.
It's cool, dude. I'm happy for you and your dad.
Thanks. I'm sad for you and your dad. If you can't get him involved with a godly woman, then maybe he can ditch this Gloria chick.
I've thought of that. The only person I can think of is Jean. And she's too old for... Wait. She was right in front of my face. And your face.
Who was?
Ariel. Well, Miss Albert's our youth group leader. She'd be perfect.
I don't think your dad is the kind of man that Ariel is looking for.
He was different when my mom was alive. He was interested in God.
That's good. Maybe his faith is just dormant and he needs somebody to come along and wake it up. Like Princess Charming. One kiss from the princess and he'll come out of his deep sleep.
So then how do we get Princess Charming to meet the frog?
Have you asked him to church?
Yeah, he's not taking that bait.
Then you're gonna have to bring her to him.
How?
You're the matchmaker, not me.
So how did your challenge go today?
Another victory. 4 chairs mine. Oh, Jean, do you have a phone number for Ariel from the youth group?
I have a phone directory. She may be listed in it. Why?
Well, I want to invite her over to dinner so that Dad can meet a godly woman.
Sneaky. I like that plan.
Would you mind cooking for one more?
I would love to cater that event. Let me get the phone directory.
Thank you. Oh, she's on the first page. Can I use your phone?
Of course.
So I hear you won your challenge again. You know there are only 2 people in between us now. After next challenge, I'll almost be able to hold your hand.
Mr. Ireland might insist that you play your flute with 2 hands.
Why do you always have to bring my feet back to the ground?
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
But you don't have to take so much doing it. You know, I've been thinking about how if I wait after college to get married, that's gonna be 8 years. I don't think I can wait that long to stay pure.
You know, I'm starting to understand that we can't win this battle on our own. We have to surrender our will and our bodies to God. He'll help us overcome Mother Nature.
You've become a super Christian.
Jean's taught me so much about life and God. I really hate to think where I'd be if she hadn't come along.
So I need to hang out with you if I want to learn all the good stuff.
We'll help each other get there.
I'm down with that. We're partners, helping each other grow.
You know, we haven't used this china since Mom died. It's perfect for Dad's first date with Princess Charming.
No, I wouldn't exactly call this a date. It's more like a drive-by shooting. Neither one of them knows the other exists.
Yeah, but they're gonna hit it off and then get married, and they'll look back with fond memories of their first date.
You're such a romantic. I bet I'm next.
I hadn't thought of that. Now that you mention it, you should have a man to tuck you in at night.
To tell you the truth, Sherry, I'm very happy being single.
Maybe so, but let me play the trump card you usually pull out of your hand. What does God want? Does he want you to stay single? Or is there a lonely man out there who needs you to complete him?
Good point. I can't argue with that. If it's God's will to have a man in my life, then I guess I better be ready.
Hi, so excited to see you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, here. Please come
I'll get
in.
it.
Thanks.
Oh, Sherry, your home is lovely.
Thank you so much. I can't wait for dinner. Do you like lasagna?
I do. I
Sherry,
love
whose
lasagna.
car is that parked out there?
Dad, this is my teacher from church, Miss Ariel Alberts. Ariel, this is my dad, Jeff.
It's nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Jean and I invited Ariel over for supper tonight.
Oh, really? Well, something smells really good in there. Let me hang my jacket up. Hey, Jean.
Hey, Dad, I hope you don't think we're trying to avoid you, but we have to eat and run tonight. We have church in about an hour.
All of you?
Yeah. So dishes are going to have to wait until tomorrow. I hope you can live with that.
No problem there. Well, an old tradition at the Martin residence was to pray and give thanks to God for the food. I think it's time we brought back that tradition. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this company and this food. I pray that you bless it to give us the nutrition that we need in this world that you created. I pray it in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Ariel, if I'm not mistaken, you teach the youth group on Wednesday?
I do. I have a great bunch of kids.
Well, it seems to me that they have a wonderful teacher.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's eat. Hey, kiddo. Been waiting for you to get home. How was church?
Oh, that's good.
You got a minute?
Sure.
I've been dying to find out a little bit more about Ariel. I'm assuming that Ariel's single?
I think so.
And what do you learn in this class of hers?
Chastity.
Perhaps she's teaching you to not find yourself alone with a male?
That, and much more. Do you think it's right that there's a double standard? They teach us kids to abstain from having sex before marriage. But once you've reached a certain age, it's okay.
Are you trying to put me on the spot again? I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might embarrass me.
Well, your face's imitation of a big red jersey shows that it did.
I know that parents and children are supposed to have a chat about the birds and the bees, but I always thought it was the parent who educated the child and not the other way around.
Dad, I'm just trying to bring God's viewpoint into this discussion. Maybe if you had a chat with our Heavenly Father, I wouldn't have to say anything.
Talk about a name dropper.
What's that mean?
A name dropper is someone who brings up the name of famous people to impress others. You don't mess around, you just go straight to the top.
Well, speaking of God, I really like how you prayed over dinner tonight. I miss it. Too bad you were only doing it to impress Ariel.
Why do you think that?
Am I wrong?
Keeping my feet to the fire, huh? Okay, guilty as charged, but I did enjoy the prayer too.
It's time to make up with God.
I'm not sure I know how to do that.
Well, I have a teacher who's very good at explaining things.
Ah yes, back to Miss Alberts. Are you sure she doesn't have a boyfriend?
I don't think so.
And she attends this Saturday night service that you and Jean attend?
She was there last week.
Maybe I can go with you guys this Saturday and check it out.
What about football? What about Gloria?
The Huskers play in the afternoon. Gloria has other boyfriends.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Don't go there, Sherry. You've been manipulating me to attend church. It seems like it's working, so don't push your luck.
Well, I'm sure Jean will be thrilled to have you with us. Did you want to ride with her, or did you want to drive?
I'll drive. Perhaps Miss Alberts would like to come out with us for a bite to eat after the service.
If she's there, maybe you'd like to call her and make sure? Even arrange for her to sit with us.
You mean like a date? I am kind of out of practice when it comes to dating. In fact, even when I was dating, I wasn't very good at it.
What about Gloria? And that whole scene where she drops by her table and says, "Hi, good looking. Why don't you buy me a few drinks and then we'll go back to my place for some Greco-Roman wrestling?" Or something like that.
Where do you get ideas for that?
This stuff is on primetime television all the time. You can't watch for very long without seeing the bimbos in action.
Bimbos?
Well, it's been great talking to you, Dad, but I have some new flute music that I need to work on, so...
Hold on, young lady. How am I supposed to call Ariel if I don't have her phone number?
Easy, Dad. I put her number in your cell phone.
Dad, what's that smell?
What smell? Is there something dead in the fridge again?
No, not that kind of smell. It's coming from you, and it's awesome.
I tried a new cologne.
Does this mean that you called Ariel?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, yeah, that's why I asked the question.
Maybe I should leave you hanging.
But you're not a cruel father, so you're gonna tell me.
Okay, Miss Manipulator, I did call her, and she is going to sit with us at church. Now, are you satisfied?
Probably not as much as you.
Hey, we get to sit together tonight?
We do. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I can speak to your dad for a few minutes before the service starts.
He'd like that. Were you surprised that he called you?
A little. I kind of had an inkling he was being set up.
You think I would try to set you up with my dad?
Weren't you?
Does it matter? You're here, and he's in church for the first time in years.
Oh, so you're putting me on recycle duty, huh? Listen, if you don't mind me asking, what's the story with your mom?
She died of cancer about 3 years ago.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I know that's probably had a huge impact on both of you. And most importantly, your dad's life and his faith.
I'm afraid so.
Well, he's a good-looking guy, and he seems to be so nice. What's up with the setup?
Well, I was afraid he'd go off the deep end with the wrong woman if I didn't set him up with the right one.
And what makes you think I'm the right woman?
Well, I know I'd like to have you for a mother. And you'd help him stay on the right path. And he doesn't want any more kids.
Honey, I'm extremely complimented by your confidence in me. But I want a husband who loves me for me, and not just that his daughter loves me. I want a man who's grounded in his faith. I won't be unequally yoked with an unbeliever, or even someone who's lukewarm. And that seems to describe your dad right now.
I wish you'd give him a chance.
The only reason I agreed to come tonight was, number one, you're here, and number two, we're in church. I don't mind to get to know him while we're here, but no dating, okay?
I think he likes you enough that he can live with that. I'll go give him the good, bad news.
We'll go together.
So, you really like her from what I can tell?
Who? Jean?
You know I mean Ariel.
I think Ariel is absolutely beautiful and a very nice woman.
You know, she'd be willing to spend time to get to know you.
Cool.
But she'll only hang out with you at church.
That's pretty confining.
It's only fair to warn you that Ariel wants a man on fire for God, not one who's in danger of everlasting fire.
Very punny.
Definitely. Oh, before I forget, my friend Duke wants me to play a duet with him at his dad's wedding. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. How will you practice for it?
After school, we'll go to Jean's house.
I'm not thrilled with that arrangement, but I guess Jean can make sure you both behave. How about transportation?
Well, the wedding's at the church. Maybe you'd like to come? Ariel is singing a solo at the wedding.
This wedding is sounding more fun by the minute. I look forward to hearing you and Duke play.
Cool. And no doubt to hearing Ariel sing. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. Have I ever told you that I love you?
Not lately.
I can relate to that.
Sherry, I don't know what to say. It's not true. I do know what to say, but it's so hard to get it out. First of all, I do love you. And secondly, I'm sorry I haven't been a more loving father. Things have been a bit messed up since your mother left us.
I know, Dad. I'm going through it too. I wish we could just get the clock and turn back time.
I hear you, but we can't. We can try to be happy where we are.
I can try.
Me too.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? The Virgin Queen. You know, I've been hearing all kinds of bad things about you lately. Joining band, going to youth group, to fight off natural urges through hug sessions and brainwashing. You know, you could have fun like me, but now look at you. You're pathetic. I'm not through with you yet, Martin. You better watch your back.
Sherry, I thought you removed that trash magnet from your purse.
Stay out of this, Becky. It's none of your concern.
That's your opinion?
There's 3 of us and only 2 of you.
You're smart, Judy. You must get good grades in math. You know, I'm not the one that's worried about 3 little powder puffs that would faint if they broke a precious fingernail.
You know what, Becky? I should have taken you out a long time ago. I would gladly lose all 10 fingers just to shut your mouth.
Hi, Miss Finch.
You 2 stay. You 3 come with me.
I wish I had a camera to capture Judy's face when she saw Finch.
It was priceless. Thank you for rescuing me.
Believe me when I say it was my pleasure, that I'm not exaggerating.
Did you really have fodder? You know you'd get kicked out of school for a little bit.
It would be worth it.
I know how you feel. Unfortunately, my conscience just keeps nagging me, saying that I need to have mercy on Judy and even pray for her.
Pray? For Judy? You've got to be kidding me.
Jean and Ariel have been really big influences in my life. I'm starting to see that forgiveness is one of the main ingredients in the Christian recipe.
If I have to pray for Judy in order to be a Christian, then I would prefer to be a heathen. Word of warning to you, Judy won't forget this, so please be careful.
Wow, your second chair. I have to admit, I didn't think you would actually make it this far. When are you going to challenge me?
I don't think I want to bump you from the top spot.
Are you kidding? I thought that was the whole driving force behind you rising the ladder as fast as you did.
Well, it was, but I don't know. I don't mind being chair 2. I do get to sit by you.
Thanks for the compliment, but I don't want you backing down. If you're the best, then you deserve to be in that chair. Bring it on, girl. If you're the best flautist, so be it. I don't want either one of us wondering.
You really want me to challenge you?
Let me say that a little stronger. If you don't, I'll be ticked off.
I certainly don't want you angry. I'll challenge you after the wedding.
Make sure you bring your A game.
Martin residence.
Put Jeff on the line.
Dad, it's for you. I don't know who it is, but it's a she, and a very rude one at that.
Hello? Hey, Gloria. I can't tonight. I'm taking Sherry to church. I'm sorry, I'm not going to break that promise. Now I have to go. Have a good evening.
Jean could drive me to church.
I know that, and Gloria could drive me crazy.
What do you mean?
She has one purpose in life, a one-track mind. She thinks that life is just fun and games. The word responsibility is not in her dictionary. I don't think Gloria's ever used a dictionary except to maybe prop open a door. She's a bimbo.
Now, why didn't you see that in the first place?
Because I wasn't looking. My mind went to the same gutter as hers. I wanted to run away from responsibility for a little while and just have fun. Now I see just how unfair that was to you. Your life would have been miserable with someone like Gloria running the show. Please forgive me, Sherry.
No problem, Dad. Don't sweat it.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
Well, I hope you'll be able to forgive me.
Doing some moonlighting as a janitor, Martin? I saw you mopping up the floor.
What is going on out here? Everybody, get to class! Judy, are you connected to this traffic jam I just broke up?
Not me. I was just making sure Sherry was okay after she fell down.
Did she knock you down, Sherry?
No.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure. I just need to find my flute and then I'll be on my way.
Look, I'm afraid you missed the bell. You're gonna have to get a tardy slip for your next class, and while you're there, report your flute stolen.
Stolen?
Did you find your flute?
No sign of it.
It sounds suspicious to me that Judy just happened along as soon as you got knocked down. Maybe she set it all up and arrived on the scene to make sure she had an alibi.
You watch too many detective shows.
How do you explain it then?
Doesn't make sense to me. Maybe you're right about Judy. Maybe Miss Moneybags shelled out some coin and had Bertha Butts run me over, and then had someone else grab the flute. Wouldn't put it past her.
What are we gonna do for the wedding?
You have a flute.
Sherry, we're a team. I'm not gonna play without you.
I don't have a spare.
What about Jean?
Jean's got a Brannan made of silver that's worth $10,000. I'm not touching that one.
Maybe she has a spare.
If she does, she hasn't mentioned it to me. Plus, I don't want to be responsible for someone else's instrument when I couldn't even take care of my own. Just prepare yourself to do a solo.
Is something wrong here?
I lost my flute. And I have to be at the church at 6 for the wedding. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to ruin your day.
Here, let me show you something.
Oh, Jean, this is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. What is this room for?
This was my daughter's room.
The one in Seattle?
No, the one in heaven.
Why do you lock this room?
This is my little secret. I think God wants me to give it up.
I don't understand. What secret?
I told you a little fib when we first met. My daughter did not die in a car accident. she took her own life.
Oh, Jean, I'm so sorry.
I made up the room like it was before she passed away. I decided to tell people that she had died in the accident with my husband. I almost convinced myself that the story was true.
Jean, I don't know what to say.
If God hadn't have rescued me, I probably would have died too.
And your husband?
He blamed me. His blood alcohol was over the limit that night when he left drinking, and he wrapped the vehicle around the tree that night.
So you lost both your daughter and your husband in the same night? I'm not sure why you showed me this room.
My daughter was a student at the time she died, and I quit giving lessons. And you have become just like my daughter. And I want you to have this.
Jean, I'm speechless. I don't know how to say thank you.
Now I need you to get ready for the wedding. But make me one promise. No matter how bad life gets, always trust in Jesus.
I promise with all of my heart.
Sure was fun playing with you at the wedding.
Ditto. Too bad I have to beat you today.
Won't happen. Maybe I should throw in a little extra incentive.
Like what?
Like, if you win, I'll have a little chat with your dad.
About a date with me?
No, about how to effectively kill crabgrass. Of course about a date with you.
You wouldn't lose on purpose to get that chance, would you?
Don't flatter yourself, Martin. You're not that hot. I don't take a dive for anybody.
Well, just to be sure, if you win, I'll have that little chat with my dad.
You're a fool. You will ruin your whole life if you have a baby.
You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to my decision.
Just get in to talk to the nurse. She'll help you get rid of the thing without telling your parents. The law allows them to do that.
My Father in heaven will know, even if the doctor doesn't tell him. And just because the government says it's okay to murder babies, that doesn't make it right.
It's not murder. They're not even really humans until after they're born.
Really? Ask the doctor who aborted a fetus and had the little baby grab onto his finger with its little hand.
I try to help all you religious freaks, and what does it get me? Maybe your help isn't really help. You know what? I give up. You're all idiots.
Hey, are you okay? I'm fine. It takes more than one of Judy's tantrums to ruin my day. I've been putting up with those since 2nd grade.
You're lucky. I've been with her since kindergarten. But she's actually improved since then.
I'm trying to picture a miniature Judy terrorizing her kindergarten teacher and students.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. Come on, let's go to class.
It looks like Sherry's ready to go to sleep. It was great talking with you. Good night. God bless.
Who was that?
Who do you suppose?
Well, my first guess would be Ariel, since I don't think you'd be saying God bless to Gloria. You guys have been talking quite a bit lately. Are you in love?
Sherry, that's a pretty personal question.
Don't want to answer on the grounds you might incriminate yourself?
Oh, I see you inherited your dad's wit.
You mean I only got half?
I think you're trying to get my goat tonight. What's the matter? You can't stand seeing your old man happy?
It's not true, Dad. I love to see you happy, especially if Ariel is involved. Sometimes it's easier joking than to be serious. I do have a question I'd like to have answered, though.
What's that?
How do you know when you're in love? I mean, like with a Thanksgiving turkey, you have a thermometer that you stick in it, and it tells you when it's done. How do you measure love? And at what point do you go from not being in love to being in love?
Well, you're going to stretch me on this one, but I think my final answer is that real love means that you're willing to sacrifice your own interests because you care more about the other person than yourself.
So, like Jesus did on the cross?
I can't argue with that example. Good night, kiddo.
Good night, Dad.
That girl has a serious chip on her shoulder.
I've noticed. I think it's time that Doctors Madison, Jenny, and Sherry help surgically remove it.
That sounds like an accurate diagnosis to me, Doctor. Shall we scrub up?
With soap and water?
With prayer.
Hey, Becky. We'd like to talk to you for a second.
Okay, start talking. Not here. Let's go in the library.
Can we pray for you?
It's a free country.
Father in heaven, we know you love Becky. She is special in your eyes. We ask you to reach out now and bring healing to her for any pain or burdens which are weighing her down and preventing her from experiencing the fullness of your joy. Let her feel your love and your touch as you bring healing to her spirit and her soul. In Jesus' name, amen.
I don't understand why you guys wanted to pray for me.
I felt like you've been carrying around something inside of you. It's about to simmer and erupt like a volcano.
You're right. It could blow its top at any minute now. And I've got to tell somebody about it.
We're here for you.
I've been pretending to be a virgin. I'm not. The person who stole my honor was a family member.
Father?
No. Son of my dad's favorite brother. I told him, and he said we couldn't do anything about it. He said it would destroy my cousin and my uncle. I got the role of protecting my family honor, and I have. Up until now, it was just too much for me.
I'm so sorry, Becky.
You know, I was really hoping to take that pledge and get my purity ring, but now that's just another lost dream.
No, it's not. We're taking a purity vow, not a virginity vow. What happened in the past is a done deal, and we can only promise for the future. But I'm going to pledge, and there's no reason that you can't too.
I'm really, really sorry you guys are missing church.
Church is supposed to be like a hospital. People should come here to get healed. And personally, I feel closer to God after this ordeal with you than I ever have after a sermon.
I feel much better, thank you, but I mean, I don't think that I'm healed.
I think you need to pray and forgive your cousin and anyone else you might be holding a grudge against. Healing sometimes takes time.
But first I think you need to pray and ask Jesus to forgive you and let him be Lord of your life. I gotta get to the sanctuary. My parents are waiting. I'll be praying for you.
Hey, where were you guys? There was a woman asking for a prayer for her teenage neighbor who got attacked last night. She got all slashed up by some creep because she wouldn't have sex with him. She'll never look the same again.
That's terrible.
That girl was Judy.
What? An hour ago, I'd have scratched her face up with my own nails. But now I feel like crying for her. We all know how crazy she is about her beauty. And now she's probably thinking suicide.
You've got a point. She's gonna need our help.
We aren't talking about Judy here, though. She may not even want our help.
That doesn't matter. We have to try.
I suppose she's at a hospital?
The one not far from church.
But are the people at the hospital even gonna let us in? I mean, I think there's some kind of a visitation list.
I'll stop by the car dealership and ask her dad. I'll let you guys know if we get permission or if we'll have to sneak in. Well, Judy still doesn't want to see us, but her dad said he doesn't care. He wants us to come out there anyway. Judy is freaking out. None of the people she called friends have come out to see her, and the doctors are keeping her restrained and drugged to make sure she doesn't hurt herself.
God's opened the door for us. Actually, I won't be able to go, but are you guys gonna walk through it?
She's gonna freak to see me. And Sherry won't lower her blood pressure either.
True. But I still think we should go.
Do you think that Judy would let you pray for her?
I think she would rather have her teeth pulled out without numbing.
I'm sure Jane will take us. We can try to go tomorrow after school.
Did you come to see the circus freak? Oh, the ugly duckling story in reverse. You know, I've been telling you all along that you need to get a life. And if you have nothing better to do than visit a basket case, you've proven my theory.
I want you to forgive me.
Forgive you? For what? You didn't slash my face. Unless you paid the guy to do it.
I want you to forgive me for being a butthead over the years, and I haven't been very kind to you, and my attitude is just sucked.
What kind of trick is this?
No trick. I just never realized how much jealousy and anger and other emotional junk was inside of me.
So, why the sudden change?
I have very good friends that helped me see God, and through his touch opened my eyes.
Hallelujah, the blind sees.
Absolutely. I filtered everything through my self-esteem problem, and now I see how wrong and destructive I was. And I want you to forgive me for anything that I did to hurt you.
Hurt me? I know you wanted to put some hurt on me, but all you did was throw some caustic remarks my way. They bounced off like rubber darts. You gave me a target to take out my frustrations on. And now you want me to forgive you and take away my favorite person to dislike?
If it makes you feel better to hate me, go ahead. I just want you to forgive me, Judy.
This is crazy. Why are you doing this?
I love you.
What makes you think I want you to love me?
I think deep down that's what all of us want is love. All the other stuff we go through is just an attempt to find that love. And the ultimate in love comes from God.
If people have those good things, then they don't need love, and they don't need God. I'm not buying that one. So did you come here to make me feel better, or make you feel better?
Judy, I want you to find the peace and joy that I have just found.
Look at me. How am I ever going to find joy when my face looks like a jigsaw puzzle?
Hello? Earth to Judy. Look at me. I never was pretty and I never will be. But I am perfectly happy right now. Good looks are like a rose. Look. They're really beautiful when they're in bloom. But when they fade away, we see how temporary that beauty is. And then they end up in the trash.
Whatever. I forgive you. Now maybe Sherry can come over here and tell me how much she loves me. Hey, Virgin Queen. Still aiming to put that ring on your finger?
It's only a couple of weeks away now.
Poor girl. I tried really hard to convert you from this foolishness.
Probably would have worked if God hadn't stepped in.
Here we go with the God junk again.
Judy, I don't know what to say. Maybe there aren't any words.
Hey? What are you doing? Martin. Don't do this to me. Big girls don't cry. What did you do to me? I feel so strange.
I think that's called the touch of God. I just wept the tears that he has because you don't love him.
God is crying because I don't love him? That sounds crazy. But I know what I'm feeling, and I like it. It's the first good sensation I've had since I've been in this miserable place. Is this what changed you?
Partially. This feeling gave me the faith to trust that God was holding me and had me wrapped in his arms because he loves me. It was surrendering my will to Jesus that gave me total freedom.
Tell me about Jesus. I hear his name and I even say it every once in a while. He's just some dead guy from the Roman Empire or something, isn't he?
Sorry to break up the party, kids, but I need to take care of my patient.
You're not going to give me another one of those shots, are you?
I'm afraid so. But I won't lie to you and tell you that it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you.
I don't want another shot. I don't need another dose. Ask these guys. I'm at peace right now. They were telling me about Jesus. I don't want another shot. I think I want Jesus.
I think Judy was getting ready to become a Christian. It was bad timing to have that nurse come in when she did.
I'm not so sure. I have a feeling about that nurse. Everything's gonna be okay.
What makes you think that?
If you'd seen the look on her face, you know what I was talking about. I just have a good feeling.
Hey, did you talk to Judy's dad, Duke?
Yep. We won't be going back to the hospital again.
Bummer. I thought everything was gonna work out alright. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
I think you'd have to be an aunt.
You knew she was coming.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be a surprise.
Judy.
You gonna be okay here, Pumpkin?
Yeah, Dad. I'll be good right here.
Well, that's good. I'm gonna go and leave now, and I'll be back about 8:45 or so. Look, I really appreciate everything you guys have done.
Okay, girl. We want to hear all the details about what happened after the hospital visit the other night and what you're doing here.
Okay, I'll tell you guys later, but right now I think you've got a class to get to. Something about purity. I'll give you the play-by-play afterwards. But if we were playing Clue, I guess you could say the nurse did in the hospital room with her hammer of love.
Ariel.
Yes.
I'd like you to meet Judy Green.
Judy, it's nice to meet you.
Judy wants to know if she could possibly be involved in our purity pledge.
Guys, we've only got 2 weeks before the ceremony. Tell you what, Judy, you and I will have a private talk after class tonight, and we'll see what we can do. All right? Let's go to class. We're glad you're here. That's so good.
Is this the same Judy that you've been talking about that put a contract out on your flute?
Crazy, isn't it? If you had told me 10 days ago that Judy was going to come to church and take a vow of chastity, I'd have laughed till I broke some ribs.
You know, God works in mysterious ways.
I'll say, she's a completely different person. Same with Becky.
Let this be a lesson to you that God can touch everyone, no matter how nasty they seem to you. Your role is to love them and to pray for them, instead of despising them because they're not like you.
Lesson learned.
Hope you don't mind me saying, kiddo, but you've changed radically too.
You know, sometimes I look in the mirror and I wonder what happened to that girl who was so desperate for something to live for. Now I not only want to live, but I'm excited to share this joy that I have with others.
That is how the gospel is supposed to work. Word of mouth advertising. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
You know, speaking of changing, Dad, you're not the same man you were a short time ago.
Hey, I'm glad someone's noticing. Oh, by the way, I've decided to be baptized.
What? I thought you were baptized.
I was, but it was a sprinkle job done when I was a baby. It wasn't my own decision. But Ariel's explained to me about submersion and how we need to be baptized just like Jesus was in the River Jordan. And in doing that, we signify to the world our death and rebirth.
I know, Dad. I mean, I had the same baptism you did. So I need to get baptized too. Why didn't you tell me?
Well, Sherry, that's a decision you have to make on your own.
I've made it. When?
They have a baptism service the first Sunday of every month.
Today, our teenagers are bombarded by sexual peer pressure on all sides, through media, television, film, and even at school. So in class, we've learned how to encourage each other and hold each other accountable. But the greatest lesson they've learned is how to lean on Jesus Christ in prayer and to walk in obedience. Tonight, they're going to take the purity pledge to remain pure until they are married. They are not going to be able to do this alone. They're going to need your help. So I call on you as their parents, their friends, and their family to encourage them to win this battle that society so desperately wants them to lose.
I, Becky Hatcher, do hereby pledge to honor my Father in heaven and his Son,
Jesus Christ, by keeping myself pure in mind, thoughts, and deeds.
I promise to keep myself chaste for my future spouse, that we might share in the sacrament of marriage and sex, unencumbered by past encounters.
I understand that living a chaste lifestyle is a daily commitment, but with God's help, I will be able to keep this promise. And if I should fail,
I will begin again by asking for God's forgiveness and grace.
We have a special member of our class who would like to share something with you. Judy?
There are people in this world who mock kids like us in the pledge we just took. A few weeks ago, I was one of those kids. And if God hadn't stepped into my life, I'd still be one. My old friends are mocking me now. It's not easy, but I know I'm doing the right thing. I used to be sexually active, and I now know the mistake I've made. I want to tell you that sex does not bring lasting satisfaction. I know that now. I pray that my mistakes will help others avoid this pain.
Thank you, Judy. All right, so now Pastor Perkins is going to hand out our purity rings to our students. They will wear the ring on their left ring finger. When they get engaged, they will switch that ring to the right hand on that ring finger. And then, when they are married, they will remove the ring and they will place it somewhere in their house where they can share it with their children and they can truly know that love does wait.
Hey, Sherry. I'm really sorry for orchestrating the whole stealing of your flute. Mind the pun. But, I would get it back for you, but it kinda got sold. Can you forgive me?
Oh, Judy, of course I forgive you. And don't worry about the flute. I got a new one. And what Satan intended for evil, God used to bless the life of a very dear lady. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Oh, hey. There's Mr. Ireland. What is he doing here?
Oh, I invited him.
Trying to get some brownie points so that you can win your first chair back?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Hey, where's your purity ring?
Oh, it's in my purse. I don't see yours either.
I wanted you to put it on me.
I wanted the same thing.
Your wish is my command.
Hi, Sherry. I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, Mr. Ireland. This is my band director. Mr. Ireland, this is Gene McAllister.
Carson.
No, McAllister.
He's right, Sherry. It used to be Carson. How are you, Bill?
After seeing you again after 40 years, I'm doing wonderfully.
You always were a flatterer. You haven't changed a bit since high school.
Maybe a smidgen.
Don't you dare say I look just like I did in high school.
Okay. You look exactly like you did in college.
You rascal, always quick to the wit. Where's your wife?
She passed away a couple years ago, just before we moved back here.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Where's Robbie?
He passed away 17 years ago.
17 years? And you never remarried? Would you like some punch?
Oh, I'd love to.
Later, kids.
Should we go get some punch too?
No.
I think we should leave him alone to renew old friendship. Oh, there's Dad and Ariel. Don't they make such a handsome couple?
Yeah, just like us.
Well, nice try. We're not a couple yet.
Hey, you two.
Hey.
Hey, Dad.
Hi. So proud of you.
Hi. Hey.
Pastor, I'm glad you stopped by. I would like to get a couple more purity rings, one for Jeff and one for myself. After his baptism tomorrow, we're officially going to begin dating.
Awesome. You come by my office tomorrow and I'll hook you up.
Okay, thank you.
So, Dad, when you get the rings, you should put one on Ariel and Ariel vice versa.
Oh, well, that is very romantic.
Yes, it is.
You sound like you have some experience in that area. I think it's time you and me had a man-to-man talk.
I think you're right, sir.
Oh, no. Oh. He's about to give him the old mafioso speech. You touching my daughter and I break your face.
Oh, you really think so?
Well, if he is, I'm going to be mortified, whatever that means.
No, it'll be okay.
Oh, I'm so
They need to
nervous.
talk, though. Yeah. Oh, well, here they go.
I want you to know, young lady, you're going to have some very strict rules from now on. You two are not going to go on a date unless Ariel and I are with you. Until you're 16.
Dad, what are you babbling about?
Hello? I just told you that I'm giving you and Duke permission to date as long as you're with us.
Oh, Dad. Have I ever told you that I loved you?
Not nearly enough. But I expect to hear it every day from now on.
I have waited my whole life for someone like you, someone who loves me like no one else can do. A love undivided that keeps me reminded God has a plan for two. Love waits for you. Whether good days or bad days, temptation presses you. When the world takes, leaving heart breaks, don't let your faith be moved. I'm always reminded of love undivided. It keeps me unbroken, it's true. His love waits for you. Waits for you.